Hello students, today we will learn application layer. In my last lecture I have told you about what is network, what are the types of network, and what is circuit switch network and packet switch network. So today we will see the another thing that we learned in the previous lecture is ISO OSI model, which consists of 7 layers, and TCP/IP model, which is the most popular model in today's world, and it has 4-layer model. Okay, so in the TCP/IP model, basically it consists of network to interface layer, that is the combination of physical and data link layer, then internet layer, that is the network layer which uses internet protocol, then transport layer, and then application layer. So the topmost layer is the application layer. So we'll see application layer, how it works. So application layer provides the services to the user. Communication is provided between the two users using the logical connection, which means that the two application layer assumes that there is an imaginary direct connection through which they can send and receive the messages. Now see the diagram below, which is explaining the example about the logical connection which is made between the two users using the application layer. Now suppose there are there is one user named Alice which wants to connect to the another user, say Bob. So Alice is working in one of the research companies, say Sky Research, okay, and he wants some books from the online seller whose name is Scientific Book, which is the online seller. Now figure shows the scenario in which scientists working in the research company Sky Research needs to order the books related to her research from the online seller, which is Scientific Book. Now logical connection takes place between the application layer at the computer at a Sky Research and the application layer of a server at a Scientific Books. We call the first host Alice and the second one Bob. Communication at the application layer is logical and not physical. Now Alice and Bob assume that there is a two-way logical channel between them through which they can send and receive the messages. The actual communication, however, takes place through several devices. So what are those devices? First the Alice computer, then the router R2, R4, R5, R7, and through all these routers it gets connecting to the Bob, and several physical channels as shown in the figure. So how Alice message reaches to the Bob? It will pass through all the other layers also: transport, network, data link, and physical layer. Again at the other side of the application layer of the Bob, it again transfers to the transport, network, data link, and physical layer. And in between the Alice and Bob there are number of internet service providers, national ISPs, switched WAN. Switched WAN means the number of switches are connected to each other in the switched WAN. The dedicated switches are there, therefore there is a solid link, and from indirect connection there is a dotted link. So the routers, again they are connected to the another internet service provider. Through the another internet service provider, with the help of router, it will go to the LAN network of the Bob, where the Bob is connected with the help of switch, and through that it passes the message to the Bob. So this is the diagram of logical connection at the application layer between the Alice and Bob. So Alice send one message to the Bob, and the logical connection is done between the application layer of the Alice with the application layer of the Bob. Of the Alice means of the computer of the Alice, and of the computer of the Bob. Now we will see application layer paradigm. So there is a client server paradigm and peer to peer paradigm. So what is paradigm? This is the diagram of paradigm, where we can see that there are three LANs see the diagram, 3 LANs and connecting to the internet, and one server. This is the server through which the LANs are connecting and communicating with each other. So it is a one server has the responsibility to share and communicate with all the LAN. So the client is making the request to the server, and server is responding back to the client with the help of application program. So a service provider is an application program called the server process. It runs continuously waiting for the application program called the client process to make the connection through the internet and ask for the service. So one problem with this paradigm is that the concentration, one problem is that the concentration of the communication load is on the shoulder of the server, which means that the server should be powerful computer. Even the powerful computer may become overwhelmed if the large number of clients try to connect to the server at the same time. Another problem is that there should be a service provider willing to accept the cost and create a powerful server for specific service. Now some of the application program protocols paradigm includes World Wide Web, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, FTP, SSH, Telnet, DNS, and so on. There is a huge list of protocols at the application layer. Now another paradigm is peer-to-peer paradigm. So the same diagram is used for peer-to-peer paradigm. Only the difference is here, instead of giving the whole load on the server, each computer acts as a server or the client. So if any user makes a request to the server, and if that request can be satisfied by its peer computer, then that computer will respond back to the another computer instead of passing the message to the server. So here the load of the server become less. So this new paradigm, it is called as P2P, that is peer-to-peer paradigm, has emerged to respond to the needs of some new application. In this paradigm, there is no need for server process to be running all the time and waiting for the client processes to connect. The responsibility is shared between the peers. The computer connected to the internet can provide the service at one time and receive the service at the another time. So this is the client server paradigm and peer-to-peer paradigm. At the application layer is running between the two application program called as processes. So client server paradigm, the processes are client and server. Client is running the client program that initializes the communication by sending the request, and server is another program that waits for the request from the client. Now the next is application programming interface, API. So interface is nothing but to connect the application program to the internal operating system and give the response back to the application program. So whatever is request made by the program, that request is satisfied and responded back on the screen. So for this there are three APIs, that is socket interface, transport layer interface, and stream. How the request is processed inside the system. So see the diagram, position of the socket interface. So socket interface, here we can say that it is constructed in between the application layer and the operating system. So application layer and the operating system, which is made up of all the transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer, which is used for satisfying the request or the processing the request of the client on the one side, and then response is sent by the server on the another side. So in the client server in the client server communication, client side consisting of the application layer and the socket interface between the other layers and the application layer. Similarly, on the server side, socket interface is fetched in between the application layer and other layers of the computer or the server. So see the diagram clearly: application layer, then socket interface, then transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So let us see another diagram. Socket used in some way as the source and the sinks. So application program, whenever application program is sent by the client, then the monitor and the keyboard, source and the sink, keyboard read and write. So whatever is typed by the user through the keyboard, it is displayed on the monitor as the application program. So socket interface, like in the electric switchboard, we are using the socket to make the connection between the device, electronic device, and a main interface, that is a main connection, so that we can use that electronic device. So the similar way here the sockets are used. So for that, see another diagram, that is use of sockets in process to process communication. Use of sockets in process to process communication. See this diagram: use of sockets in process to process communication, that is application layer at the client side wants to get connected to the application layer at the server side. So request is made by the client process making request to the server. So it will go through the socket. Logical connection between the two socket is done from the client and the server. So server side socket is connected to the client side socket, and they will match with each other, and then after getting the request from the client, the server processes, executes, and the response sent back through the socket to the client socket and then to the client process. So in this way the process to process communication using the socket is done. Now see the address, how the socket address is built up, that is IP address plus the port number. So suppose there are large number of websites we are running on the computer at the same time, then each website is having the port number and the IP address, so that the port number from the server will match to the port number of the client, and particular website will get executed. At the same time, the number of websites we can fetch and execute, and the IP address is 32-bit IP address. Now the another layer below the application layer, there is a transport layer. So what are the services provided by the transport layer? Transport layer basically consists of two protocols, TCP and UDP protocol. So TCP protocol, it is the connection oriented protocol. It is reliable byte stream service. TCP requires that the two ends first create a logical connection between themselves by exchanging some connection establishment packets. This phase, which is sometimes called as handshaking, establishes some parameters between the two ends, including the size of the data packets to be exchanged, the size of the buffers to be used for holding the chunks of data until the whole message arrives, and so on. Now another protocol used in TCP is UDP protocol. So in the UDP protocol, it is the connectionless protocol. In the connectionless protocol, what will happen? All the packets are dispatched at a different time on at the same time, and it may travel through the different route. So therefore it is a connectionless protocol. Once it reaches to the destination, then they are assembled at the destination only. So they can each packet may travel through the different route. It is connectionless, therefore it is called as connectionless unreliable datagram service. Connectionless service means there is no logical connection between the two ends exchanging messages. Each message is an independent entity encapsulated in the packet called datagram. So UDP does not see any relation or the connection between the consequent datagrams coming from the same source and going to the same destination. So UDP is not reliable protocol. So this is about TCP and UDP. Okay, thank you friends. Next topic we'll see in the next lecture.